Blessings to you, my beautiful sister. So I have here your inner child mini reading, and I'm just going to jump right into it. So for the first two cards, we have the overall theme and message of your reading. So I have the honor your energy, which is in reverse, and you have alive. So this is telling me that the overall theme and message of your reading is, in order to feel alive, you have to honor your energy, and that means honor your feelings. So it feels as though your inner child is trying to communicate the fact that when you were younger, you were kind of disconnected from your energetic, emotional body. That in order for you to get through certain things, you would kind of disconnect or not acknowledge your feelings or not acknowledge how you felt about things, people, places, and things. And also how at times you felt as though in order to be accepted and loved, you had to be like a people pleaser. You're always trying to be like a little helper and help everyone and give of your energy when you weren't receiving that energy back. And this is something that your inner child wants you to stop doing. It's not wants you to stop acknowledging. When you know that people, places, and things aren't good for you and you're giving out so much more energy than you're receiving, that you need to stop and you need to honor yourself by honoring what you know and how you feel energetically. And to also understand that one of the main keys of being alive is honoring your feelings and processing your feelings and feeling. That's how we experience life. We experience life through feelings, and she's saying she really wants you to start just living your life and being alive and allowing yourself to process how you feel about things, and starting with your inner child, just allowing yourself to process the things that occurred, the things that happened, and how they kind of help to mold you into the person that you are today, the good and the bad, and how they have also put some challenges and blocks within your energetic field that you need to work through. And one of them is honoring the fact that you don't acknowledge your feelings, or you don't acknowledge the fact that you're giving out too much energy to people, places, and things that may take more from you than they give back, and to also understand how important it is that how important it is to honor those feelings, and know that that's a way of spirit telling you what's good, telling you what's bad, telling you who not to be around, or what's not of an energetic match for you, what is something that you really don't need in your life, you know what I mean? So this is the overall message, just to honor yourself, honor your energy, honor your gut feelings, honor your feelings itself, and how you feel about certain people, places, and things, and what they do to you, energetically. Are they giving you the energy that you're pouring back into them? You don't want to be a cup that is always empty because you're giving out to anybody else, to everyone else, and then you feel depressed, and you feel dark, and you feel unappreciated and things of that nature, because you're just giving that which you don't have, and you're giving from a space of lack and need, because you need someone to appreciate you, because you need someone to accept you, because you need someone, that kind of energy. So that is the whole theme and message of this reading. So we're going to jump right into the first. I don't really get too much in depth with this reading because it's a mini reading, so I just kind of gloss over things. So these cards are all about the some of the things you didn't get energetically when you were a kid, or didn't get acknowledged energetically. So you have, am I focused on what I want the most? Truth, healing, and trust. So the T is coming up a lot, like trust, truth, trouble, trauma, triumph, trying, those kind of things, for some reason. So with this, it's all about when you were a kid, you didn't have a space or an acknowledgement of who you kind of were energetically. And what I mean by this is that energetically you were very, very sensitive to energy. That's why this is coming up. You're still very, very much sensitive to energy. You're like a filter of energy. You remind me of me energetically, and how you filter the air. You filter people, places, and things like the kidney does. It like filters out everything that's bad. It's aware of it. It filters it out. And if it doesn't, if you don't clean your kidneys and things of that nature out, then you get sick. You get, your kidneys get sick and stuff. They get full of shit, right? So this is kind of how you work energetically. If you're not filtering your energy out, if you're not grounding yourself, if you're not cleansing yourself, you'll go into a dark place. That's why I say I feel sometimes you go to a space of darkness and depression, or like just a dark place that you'll be in, and people probably don't even really know that about you, that you have your moments or your days where you go into this dark kind of a place, and this is because of what you do energetically. And there was a lot of different distrust and a mistrust and a lot of truths that you were able to acknowledge, or that you went through, that no one else kind of wanted to do or wanted to acknowledge how bad it was or whatever you went through, and that for you brought a lot of distrust, a lot of dishonesty, where people weren't honest about things, or not telling you the truth about things, or not just being truthful about what was really going on, and in that situation and circumstance, you felt as though there was really no one you can trust, because everyone was kind of being not truthful about things. And at times, that's why I feel this is more so a confirmation about how your thoughts with the crown chakra can go into a dark place at times, because it's like, what am I focused on? And a lot of times as a child, you were focused on trying to fix things, how, the negative aspect of things, because that's kind of what you saw. Your situation wasn't the greatest, so you kind of gravitated more to the negative ways of thinking and going into that dark place and disconnecting and maybe feeling the feels too much, but going into that dark place and disconnecting, right? So this is something you probably definitely still struggle with now, that disconnection, that disconnecting yourself to where you don't feel at all, or to where you go into this really deep, dark place and you feel the feels, like to where you're in the void space. And I can understand that, because that's something that I deal with because of the way that we filter energy. Okay, so the next thing is some of the issues you need to deal with when it comes to healing your inner child. So you got the triumph over lies, the sacrifice, and the temple of the body. Okay, so the temple of the body, when this comes up, it's like a disconnect with the body. You don't feel comfortable within your own skin. This could have been something that happened to you when you were a child regarding your body, or just not feeling comfortable in your own skin, or not knowing, just not feeling comfortable in your own body, or not treating your body well at some point in time. So and it can be for many different reasons that we misuse and mistreat our body as women. The food that we eat, the people we engage with, any kind of stuff, over drinking, anything that we could be doing that is not good for our body. So this is something that needs to be acknowledged and dealt with, your disconnection when it comes to your body. What is it that needs to be healed with how you feel about your body or your wound and things of that nature? And you got sacrifice. So when sacrifice comes up, it's like, what are you sacrificing? Have you always sacrificed your happiness for somebody else? Have you always sacrificed your voice for someone else's truth, live someone else's truth instead of living your own? A lot of times when the sacrifice comes up, it's like you're either one or the other, one extreme to the next. You either sacrifice all the time, which it feels like that's what you do. You kind of sacrifice your shit for everybody else's, everyone comes first, or you don't sacrifice at all and you're just selfish as hell, and this is something that you have to work through. You can't sacrifice how you feel, what you want, and things of that nature, your own personal power and will for other people. I don't care who it is. You have to put yourself first, and this is something you kind of learned as a child, to sacrifice the truth, to sacrifice certain things to make other people happy. And this is the triumph over lies. So this is an upright. So this is sometimes, like I said, at times you have to kind of mask it and put on a happy face for other people. And this is something you learned as a child. You had to pretend that things were well when they weren't. And this is something that you have to stop doing now. You have to acknowledge when things aren't right. You have to acknowledge when you need support. You have to acknowledge when you're not feeling well. You have to acknowledge when things are too heavy for you and you're going into that dark space. This is something that you have to work through, because again, I told you this is something that you learned as a child, how to deal with your emotions. And this is something we were never taught. We were never really taught emotional intelligence, how to really process our emotions the correct way and deal with them and transmute them and move on. We were just either taught to ignore them or they weren't valid or whatever it was, So that is a few things that you need to work on regarding your inner child. And last but not least, it's how are these aspects that you need to work on, how they're affecting your life now, right? So this is blessings in reverse, light in reverse, addicted in reverse, love in reverse, and perception. So perception being an upright, there's some ways that your perception, the way that you see, because at times it seems as though your perception can be stuck in the way that you saw the world as a child, and that was very, very limited, right? And with this duality card I forgot about, it means that your perception is stuck in duality. This is bad, this is good. And as a child, our consciousness is still small, so we see things as really, really bad, and we see things as really, really good. But at this point in time, your inner child is asking you to see past these labels and to see the good and the bad, right? To see the blessings and the lessons, to see past the traumatic events, to see past the experience and what was something positive you got out of it, how it made you who you are today, to not just limit yourself to the good and the bad, to see past it, because this being stuck in that duality keeps you very, very low. It's a very, very low vibration of seeing and experiencing life, and not only that, processing and dealing with things that were not good, bad past experiences, traumatic experiences, things of that nature. It keeps you kind of stuck and low. But when you see the good in the worst, like for example, my mom passed, and the way she passed and how I found her and all that stuff was very, very traumatic, but it was one of the biggest blessings and the catalyst for the reason why I am where I am today, So some of the worst possible things are the biggest blessings that you can ever have, and you need to be able to have that perspective so that you can grow and get something from it and not be stuck and bound by that experience or that event, right? In that perspective, because it blocks your blessing and your blessings from new opportunities coming in, new perspectives, new ways of experiencing and living your life. You kind of get stuck in that loop of an inner child, and most people they really are stuck in their inner child wounds. They do everything from that. When you start to heal your wounds, you'll see how most people are children. Like they really are stuck as children. They're still wandering the world as adults, but their consciousness is that of a child, and they still haven't addressed the things that the people and places and things that have hurt them since they were babies. Seriously. And it gives, like I said, with the light being in reverse, it takes you to a place of darkness at times, because you're so stuck in that perspective of, that hurt and that pain of that negative and positive duality way of experiencing and seeing life, right? So it puts you in that dark place, and it keeps you kind of addicted to certain things, people, places, and things. Maybe some people are addicted to love, some people are addicted to attention, some people are addicted to acceptance. I mean, addiction can go very, very far. I tell people it's not just like a drug thing. You can be addicted to a lot of different things. So with that being said, there are some things that may be unhealthy that you're kind of addicted to. Some people are addicted to struggle. Some people are addicted to being alone. Some people are addicted to, there's so many things, So that's one of the things. And with this being in reverse, this love being in reverse, it's more so about, I tell people the greatest relationship you have is the relationship with yourself. How you love yourself, your love language with yourself, how you pay attention, and how you give yourself self-care and things of that nature. What is your love language? Where did you learn how to love? All these things are so important. So if you're not giving yourself that attention, how are you going to get that elsewhere? People always want, I need this person to love me. I need this person to accept me. Do you love yourself? Do you accept yourself? Do you keep yourself in a space and place where you're open and receptive for someone to love you and care for you? Because a lot of times when we're not used to being cared for and loved, we don't know how to accept it. We don't know how to receive it. We don't know how to see it when it's real, because we're so used to being mistreated or harmed or, not treated in a good way, right? So this is something that's affecting you now. You still aren't in a real subconsciously in a space where you truly, truly wholeheartedly are loving yourself like you should, or, and with that being said, not allowing love to come in because of that, kind of blocking that blessing of love to come in, if that makes any sense. All right, if you have any questions, please feel free to message me. I hope that this reading will bless you and give you some answers that you need. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to message me. Be well.